evening, everybody, and welcome to What's Up, Cuz? I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my co-host. He's actually my cousin as well. Merry Christmas, my cousin, Coach Lance C. Irvin. What's up, cuz? How you doing?
What's up, cousin Jason? Just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And what's in your background? Is that a tree in your Santa Claus shirt? Like, what we had? Tell the fans what's going on, because I'm trying to figure it out. Because you stole that tree, I think.
I did not steal the tree. I purchased the tree legally.
It's too perfect.
Well, you know, that's because my wife decorated it. So my job is just to like physically put the tree up, and then I let her do all the little amenities or whatever. So I did do the nice outdoor lights on the patio though. So you can see I got my icicle lights going and got my little background going on here over the deck. But you know, it's our Christmas show and you know, our holiday season show. This is our last show of 2020, Lance. And you know, we're gonna have some fun tonight. That's what we wanted to do here in 2020, was to have some fun with our devoted followers and viewers and listeners and commenters and all that good stuff. So, you know, first off, just happy holiday season, everyone here who's watching here in 2020. It's the holiday season. I know it's not a typical holiday season, but 2020 hadn't been that typical year. So, you know, we'll all celebrate it tonight here with a holiday. So just a happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and a happy New Year to everyone out there. So you ready to go and get this show?
That's why I prepare for the unexpected.
That's a damn good thing.
You know, Jay, we're going to get the What's Up, Cuz clothesline started, and I have different slogans. This was 2020 to a T. Prepare for the unexpected. So I said on the last show, let me bring it out. Shout out to my daughter, Brooklyn, who helped me design the shirt. So with that being said, let's go get it, cuz.
Wait. You got a copyright on that thing yet?
You know what? I'm going to say yeah.
Oh, okay. Coming to a store near you. Oh, man. Well, once again, everybody, welcome to What's Up, Cuz. We appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, we appreciate you watching there. Remember, you can always send comments to the show. We'll be putting different comments up throughout the show. Our super producer, Maya Kai, is behind the scenes. She'll be controlling our comments. And let's make this an interactive, fun show for 2020. Also, download the app. If you haven't done so already, download the SportsZone Chicago app. You can get it at Apple. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Google. Go ahead and download that app. When you download the app, it gives you access to all the shows we have here on the SportsZone Chicago network. And you can also check out our daily sports blog and directly download the app as well by going to blackvibes.com/SportsZone Chicago. So that's how you can find us online, and you can check out all our previous shows. We've had a ton of guests here in 2020, our first year. What's up to my boy James Cox, Big Cox? He a fellow Julian Jaguar, and my boy down there in Texas, Big Cox, baby. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in, man.
Yeah, Big Cox, you went to the right high school. PLJ, Julian High School. You know, even though my cousin went to, Limblom, whatever the name of that school was, and my wife and my daughter, some old Dolphin school. I can't remember the name of their school though. But at the end of the day, Purcell Julian was one of the best schools in the city back in the day. It's still pretty good though.
All right. I love the Jaguars. It educated a lot of my family members, and I got a lot of friends who went to that school. So many great schools in Chicago just don't get credit. So, but hey, man, we've got a fun-packed show here. We've got two guests coming up for you tonight. Our first guest coming up at 6:30. He is a native of Joliet, and it's Tavares Hardy, the head coach at Loyola, Maryland. Tavares is going to come in and talk to us about his team in the season. And there's a joke behind that, but we'll wait till he comes on as we talk about that. But he is the head men's basketball coach out there at Loyola, Maryland, and he's a Chicago area native. So we're going to have Tavares coming on. And then at 7 o'clock p.m., my homegirl, she's from the Chicago Sky, WNBA player, also graduate Texas A&M. The wonderful Sydney Colson is coming on. And Sydney has got a personality that you all gonna love. She's going to talk to us about this past season, what it was like for her and some of her experience as a professional and collegiate basketball player. And she's also going to talk to us a little bit about this second career that she started that nobody knows about. I told her we're gonna talk about her second career and give us some time here. So Sydney is going to join us at 7 o'clock. Back-to-back Aggies for some reason. We've had, last week we had Coach Kelly Bond. We appreciate Coach Kelly when she came on, and we now got Sydney Colson coming on. So we got a pretty fun-packed show. We also got our guy Joseph Phillips. He comes on at 6:15 to talk about what he's got going on with the Chicago Crusader. And just a fun-filled show here to end out 2020, Lance.
Exactly. Anytime you have an opportunity to get some quality guests on and have those individuals tell their experience, and I'm looking forward to Tavares getting on. We call him T. Hardy. And then Sydney Colson, Texas A&M, like most people know now, that's my second favorite women's basketball team. So, I've watched Sydney Colson way back when she played at A&M. I thought she was a heck of a player then, but I want to hear more about this second career she's starting.
I know.
I can't wait to get on the show so she can talk about her second career.
I agree. So we got Sydney coming up at 7 o'clock. But before we get to all that, we have got a lot of things to talk about here that happened over the weekend. So you want to get to this week's topics? Let's
bring them on.
All right. First thing, the Bears beat the Vikings. What the hell are they doing, Lance? Now they're winning. We wanted them to lose so we can get draft picks and get Nagy the hell out of here. And now they're winning games.
Leave my Bears alone. Like, this is the tale of 3 seasons. We start off about 5-1. Then we lose about 20 in a row. we on the 2-game winning streak. I mean, Mitch has been playing great. I mean, Montgomery has been the workhorse I think we all thought that he can be. I think he ran for like 146 yesterday.
Career high.
Mitch has had some of his higher passing ratings this whole year. So with that being said, I'm trying to figure it out, Jay, because I'm like, are we tanking, trying to get a new quarterback, but now we winning? So I don't know, but I tell you what, Mitch is trying to play for a contract, Jay. I don't know. I mean, would you give Mitch another year too? Would you give him? I mean,
I'm sorry, I did not. There was some static or something. Can you please repeat that question?
So, are you gonna sign Mitch to a long-term deal?
No, I am not giving Mitch a short-term, a long-term, an option. Nothing. I have seen enough of this man over the past 4 years. No, please. Don't fall for the fool's gold, Bears fan. Don't do it.
But you know what, Jay? Let me ask you this, and I'm thinking about it. Mitch came out of Carolina, correct? I think it's Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
Didn't he only start like his last year, basically?
Yes.
Not saying starting has nothing to do with it. So his sample size was probably small when we picked him up. That's why I was like, maybe when you make a pick like that and you pass over some of the guys that we passed over, Deshaun Watson and those guys, and I'm not going to mention that man in Kansas City that throws sidearm, underhand. He just was flipping stuff last night. But anyway, when you pass over stars like that, the person you pick, you better not miss. So with that being said, it's a tough situation.
Well, they missed. They missed. They missed like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football from losing this. But the fact of the matter is the guy has strung together a couple of good games. I credit a lot of that to Matt Nagy giving up the play calling duties and giving them to Bill Lazor, because I think that's probably the biggest difference. I think Lazor's calling plays is actually helping Mitch. And I can't lie, the guy is looking better, but there are people who know football much better than me. And a lot of them keep saying that Nagy is the problem and that you do keep Mitch. You do keep most of the staff and that you just get rid of Nagy and maybe get rid of Pace. But, it seems like right now, a lot of the blame is going on Nagy, which I think it should. But this is very interesting. The Bears are they're just this complex weave of all sorts of things,
Jay, like I remember when we first started doing the show and it was me, myself, Maya, you, we all were talking about it. And one thing Maya said was that from the play calls, and maybe it was you, we have to keep Mitch on the move. So one thing Lazor is doing, he's putting Mitch in a situation where Mitch can be Mitch. He has him on the move. I mean, I think that was you said Mitch is not a prototypical drop back passer. You got to keep him on the move. So I'm giving Bill Laser credit for putting Mitch in situations where Mitch could thrive.
Yeah, I do too, and I think a lot of that is just handing the ball to David Montgomery.
That's key too.
Let me ask you this question, Jason, and I hear what you're saying. He's performed well against teams that are 500 or less, but you got to win who's in front of you. So let me ask you this: if he gets in that game against Green Bay and he wins it, or he keeps him in it, do you feel he's at least earned at least 1 year of an additional contract? Because Nagy is a big part of the problem. We know that he is. Mm-hmm. You're not willing to give him a 1 year deal to see if this is working? If Green Bay is the game where you say, because he always folds and doesn't play well, but let's say he plays well against Green Bay.
Here's the problem with that, Maya. In Green Bay, they're playing on the last game of the year. By then, Green Bay is going to have everything pretty much wrapped up, unless they are literally playing for a playoff position. There's a chance that Green Bay is not going to even play their starters. Or if they do, they're going to treat it like a preseason game. So I can't really judge him on that. I can only judge what he's doing.
But you also know, if the Bears somehow manage to keep working through this, because the rest of their schedule is kind of advantageous that they can make the playoffs, which is insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Green Bay is not going to want to allow the Bears to get into the playoffs. They would love to be the team that gives them that sting and doesn't let them win. So they may do everything in their power. If they're the game that can decide if the Bears make the playoffs, you better believe they're playing. It's all hands on deck. They're not going to want that to happen.
No doubt. But here's my thing, Maya. I've seen enough of a sample, and I agree that Nagy is the problem. I just don't believe in Mitch like that. It's kind of like.
But see, but here's the thing, and I was not pro Mitch, but here's what you got to think about. Look at the situation in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
that was a hot stinking mess, and they had to clean house, got rid of the coach, the GM, went and got some talent. Now, mind you, Mitch is not Baker Mayfield. Don't get it twisted what I'm saying, but we know that when you're coming from, and Mitch didn't have the background that Baker had. Mitch was never meant to be a starter. He needed what Patrick Mahomes had, which was like 1 year behind Alex Smith, to learn the game. But instead, he's been hot potato this entire time. He's been in Chicago. I'm not saying that I think he's the quarterback of the future, but because he's finally playing an expectation because someone is working towards his strengths opposed to his deficiencies, you give it another year to see what happens.
I'm not giving him another year, Maya. I mean, here's the thing.
Okay, put it out there. Guys, comment on this. Comment. Throw your comments. You're watching the show. Thumbs up, Mitch. Thumb down, Mitch. Throw something in the comments. Come on, join the conversation.
I'm cool with that. But here's my thing. Here's the Mitch I always know. The interception he threw yesterday in the game in the red zone, late in the game. That's Mitch. That is Mitch. We cannot keep forgetting who this guy is.
But, I mean, I'm not gonna say but he's not the only person who throws interceptions. You're acting like interceptions are not unique to every single quarterback in the league. Aaron Rodgers throws interceptions, except he's got a body of work that we respect, so we don't nail him on it. It was a poor choice. But I'm looking at game after game. There's something about he's actually more accurate in his throws than I've ever seen him. So he made a mistake. Mistakes are going to happen when you're aggressive. You take a risk, and it was a bad risk. They didn't lose the game.
I'm kind of like you, Maya. I would probably give him 1 more year, Jay, because who we going to pick up in free agency? Because we talked about the draft a few minutes ago. I don't know what the draft pick we have. Can you get a quality quarterback? The free agent market, who you have? Maybe Cam Newton, probably free agent. I don't know. I'm probably missing a couple here or there. So you might have to, by default, give him 1 more year, and let's see if Laser can continue to put him in a situation where he could thrive. I don't disagree with you, but with that being said, he's now being put in a position where he can succeed. That's all I'm saying. And so I don't know who you could get.
So basically, we're going to go with Mitch because we don't have options. That's basically what you all are saying, and I just disagree with that.
Go ahead, Maya.
We're not saying that. What we're saying literally is because of what you sacrificed and didn't draft because of him, if all of a sudden it took him 4 years to be better, and it took Bill, by the way, did you notice that everybody performs better under Layers, what Layer's doing? Even the offensive line, which is weak and depleted, is actually able to play better because he's giving them better situations. He's using the running game. Look at Montgomery. Everybody kept saying, why are we not using this? Komet. All of a sudden, they're doing all the things they were supposed to be doing, and it isn't just Mitch that's playing better. Notice they're trending upward with everybody. Allen Robinson, everybody all of a sudden is playing differently because it makes more sense.
I agree with that. We also have to consider who they've played these last 2 or 3 games as well, which is why you threw the Green Bay thing out there. I mean, Jacksonville, we're not going to even count that as a game. But, okay, fine. Yeah. But we're going to bring our guy on because he's waiting.
I was going to say, let Joseph.
Got to say. We'll see what
let's hear what the other cuz has to say.
So once again, we're doing this show in conjunction with the Chicago Crusader newspaper, and here to discuss what he's working on for the Crusader, and apparently now we're talking about Mitch as well. Our good friend, sports editor from the Chicago Crusader, Joseph Phillips. Cousin Joe, what's up, bro?
What's up, cuz?
What's up? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Ooh, I'm loving that Christmas tree, Jay.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. You know, I try to do my thing.
Time out. You didn't say that about my tree last week, cuz.
Yes, I showed you.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did, but my fact, that's a phony background he has, cuz.
Oh, no.
That's not a real tree.
Oh. I like the lights, man. That's cool.
Oh, I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna.
I do what I can do, Joseph.
They all Bears colors, baby.
Joseph, you jump in on this. You heard what we were talking about. Mitch Trubisky, are you giving him an additional year to come in and be terrible?
Well, here's the deal. We can't all blame this on Mitch because at the end of the day, it was all about the coaches that was developing him. And he's in a situation now, just like he said 2 weeks ago. The reporter asked Mitch, they said, hey, Mitch, have you ever went to Matt Nagy and asked him to tailor the playbook according to your strengths? He said, yeah, all the time. I'm not quoting him word for word verbatim, but this is what he was trying to say. They don't listen to me. And that's unfortunate. So now we're stuck in the middle. The Bears are tweeners. They're not good enough to win a Super Bowl, and they're not bad enough to get a first-round pick. And now we have to depend on Mitch because I'm just going to be honest. Other than the trade, who can we go after? You know, who can turn this disaster around? You see what I mean? And we're finally getting an offensive line who our coaching staff underevaluated because how you didn't know that you had this much talent on the practice squad that was better than our starters. You know? Like, who's evaluating the talent? We can't trust anybody anymore. So now the Bears are in a situation where they're on the up and up. The offense are actually starting to pick up steam. And then the defense, even though they are mentally tired, they're actually getting some type of how can I say it? Some type of esteem boost, you know, because they're actually seeing how it's supposed to be. They're seeing the offense progress, and then the defense come and do their job. But what I'm concerned about, I don't want the defense to psychologically check out on us because they've been carrying the team for almost 3 years.
I agree. Lance?
I think they're starting to get their second win, like Joseph said. And I think you summed that up perfectly, cuz. Joseph, I agree with everything you just said. See, we see eye to eye today. I like that. Go ahead, Joseph.
It's Christmas, baby. It's Christmas. It's
Christmas, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you, my, and Joseph, y'all all been drinking more of my wine. This is how I'm celebrating our last show of 2020. I'm drinking my wine off to the side.
Oh man!
Y'all want to roll a bitch in 2021? You better be prepared for the unexpected or whatever it is your shirt is saying.
Whatever you do, don't take the vaccine, Jason.
We're going to talk about that later. But Joseph, what you got going on this week in the Chicago Crusader newspaper?
Man, last night I was up doing 6 stories, man. I was writing until 6 in the morning, you know. So I had the Major League Baseball announcement that they are going to finally acknowledge the Negro League players as professional Major League Baseball players. They're going to count their stats. So that's a big win for Negro Leagues after 70 years of dissolving, you know. Following that, I've done a story on the Bulls' last preseason game, down 22, and the bench had to come in and close out in the fourth quarter. You know, it was a big comeback victory, and Billy Donovan got those boys playing good over there. So I'm talking about that. Then I wrote a story on Money Mitch, you know, who pretty much is, you know, putting up big numbers over the past 3 weeks. He's averaging, get this, 20 points a half over the past 3 weeks. So I haven't seen offense like this since, you know who, Eric Kramer, you know. But I would say Jay Cutler, but I'm talking about without a lot of the crazy stuff that goes on. But, yes, I'm doing a story on that. I'm doing a story on Christmas in awards with the Chicago Football Classic. Also, I did a feature story on David Montgomery, just talking about his childhood, coming out of poverty, and rising to one of the top running backs in NFL. And there was one more story that was written, and I believe, shout out to Next Level Athletics, Pop Warner football team in the South Suburbs. They won the national championship in Orlando, Florida. And this is their first national championship in the organization's history. So I write about that too. So just several stories that I worked on.
Man, no wonder you up till 6 in the morning, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I got on the Sean and Maya morning show with 1 hour of sleep. I was like, let's go, Sean. Let's do this. We made it through. Praise God.
Good. Well, definitely. And guys, you know, let's not forget the NBA, the association. They are back. They are back. They are back starting tonight. The first game is the Golden State Warriors against the team from Brooklyn. And then later on tonight, we've got the Clippers and the Lakers going at it. And, you know, today, Spalding came out with a special announcement, and Maya has the photo of it here. She's going to put up on the screen for you. But today, Spalding came out and announced they're releasing a limited edition new ball which honors Kobe Bryant and his induction into the Hall of Fame posthumously. You can see it there on your screen. Just a beautiful basketball. I've got a couple of good friends in my inner circle who are diehard Laker fans, and they love Kobe. And Kobe Bryant was a good friend of the Irvin family. And so Spalding has developed this basketball. It's a two-tone ball. That is the same ball. It's just both sides of the ball. The ball became available today for exclusive members of Spalding's app. I believe they could purchase it, but there's a limited edition that's been made. The ball costs $2.99, and it's a beautiful decorative piece for guys who are looking to add something to your man cave, or if you've got a gift someone who really loved Kobe. That ball is available. Just whatever you do, just don't be out on the playground courts on the west side dribbling that damn ball, because you about to get jacked. So
yeah, I keep my Spalding in the house. I tell my son, we go up to 63rd Street, they got a ball up there already. You know, we don't bring our ball outside because there's always somebody trying to steal it, and it's always the non-hooping guy that's always. Hey, and did y'all get this breaking news? And I know this probably is like new news, but Khalil Mack made the Pro Bowl. Y'all know about that?
I didn't even know they were doing the Pro Bowl this year.
And Cordero Patterson made it. So hopefully Roquan Smith could get in as an alternative.
I was about to say Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn, somebody. I'll take that.
Well, you know what? It would surprise me who you didn't mention on that. That's who I do think is the best Pro Bowl player and has been all year. Our kicker.
Yeah, Carter.
Oh, he's been great.
Yes.
He's hit like, what, 22 in a row or something?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, what is Panera going to do?
He going to get another job. I mean, Eddie Panera didn't do nothing wrong except he got injured.
Oh, wow.
You know, so he's the Wally Pipp dude.
Oh, no.
You know, people who don't know the story of Wally Pipp, he was a starting outfielder for the Yankees. He got hurt. And Lou Gehrig stepped in with his injury, and the rest is history.
That's right.
So, So he got Wally picked is what's going to happen because Carlos been banging him through the upright.
I mean, that brother ain't missing a thing. He was 25 for 27 for the season. Last time he missed the kick is in week 3.
It's called somebody let me in the door. I'm taking your job. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, that's 21 straight, I think. 21 straight extra points and field goals. So that man's on fire. I got to give it to him, man.
I have to give it to him, too. And, Coach, you know about that. You tell players all the time, you got to take advantage of the opportunities when they come your way. And, some people say, oh, I'm playing behind this guy. Everybody just an injury away from being in the game. Ain't that right, Coach?
No, exactly. Like, you always have to be ready when somebody calls your number. Like, I remember when I first went to college, Byron and Derek was like, hey, you're battling for a spot. And if you want to play more than the guy, maybe you stick your foot out and he might trip and he might really take his spot. No, but you have to be ready. Because at the end of the day, that's why last week when I brought up Aaron Rodgers, they was up like 40-12 with like a minute 12 left. Aaron Rodgers was like, no, I'm not coming out. They're not giving you a glimmer of hope. So just sacrifice, casualty of war.
Okay. Another topic I wanted to bring up since we have Joseph going on, we'll go over it a little bit more later on in the show. But the college football semifinals have been set. All right, I gotta get this without laughing. Okay, so we've got Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Joseph, just your general thoughts when you hear the Final Four in the college football semifinal playoffs.
Notre Dame, they was a no call, no show on Saturday. So they already knew that they were going to be in that national championship game because, as we were talking about earlier today on the show, it's all about that Money, baby. And they don't call them the Golden Dome for no reason, because they know how to cash in when it comes to getting those ratings. So I wasn't surprised about that. Then with Clemson, I'll have to say, it's just unfortunate that they lost their quarterback early in the season because they probably would have been battling for number one, and they would have been in that position to probably play against either Notre Dame or Alabama, but it's just the way thing goes, it's all about money right now, and Notre Dame will be kicked out of the top 5, so they'll be representing on that day.
Nothing against them. They just lost by 30 the other night. and they still make it.
They already got the call. They already got the call from Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice was like, okay, how much I want to lose by 50? Go ahead.
If you Texas A&M, you're fuming. If you Jimbo Fisher, I'm fuming. I mean, I win my last 7 SEC games. I think they're like 8-1, and I can't get a call. So with that being said, that's tough. That's tough. And we all basically knew what they were saying. If you listening, the Ohio State University with they 6-7 wins,
right? Northwestern didn't want to play them either on Saturday. Like when they found out they had to match up against them, they was like, man, we're physically here, but mentally we're not here.
I'll just be honest. Look, I know the NCAA does good things for student athletes. I also know the NCAA does some ridiculously stupid stuff. And usually when they do ridiculously stupid stuff, it's based off of money. This is one of them perfect examples. Ain't no way in hell Ohio State is supposed to be in the semifinal. They shouldn't even been in the Big Ten championship game.
LeBron James made a call, man. You doing GM James.
Somebody made a call. They shouldn't have even played Northwestern. They had only played 5 games. So, they got in the Big Ten championship game. All right, fine. Then they beat Northwestern. But, y'all know they should be playing in the Orange Bowl. They should be playing in the Orange Bowl against North Carolina, and Texas A&M should have been that 4th team. We can make the argument about Notre Dame. They did beat Clemson, even though they didn't have most of their players, but they did beat them. So if you're going to put Notre Dame in, I can live with it. But Ohio State, man, come on, man. I
mean, they had said at the beginning of the year, this is different times, right? So stuff might not be like it should be or like we think it should be. So they showed us, no, it's not like it should be. Ohio State passed the eyeball test. We think they have Justin Fields and some more killers on their team, and we're going to put them in.
Okay.
So that's what they did. They said, forget what all you guys are talking about in the media department. We're putting Ohio State in because they passed our look test. Other than that,
they may have passed their look test. They passed the look test, but this does not pass the smell test. So, okay, cool. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Merry Christmas to you. Have a happy new year. We will see you in 2021, brother.
All right. God bless y'all. Peace out. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Coming up next, head coach of Loyola, Maryland, and a Chicago area native, Tavares Hardy. Coming up next on What's Up, Cuz. Stay tuned.
With coronavirus still spreading, people at higher risk must take extra precautions. You're at higher risk if you are over 65 or if you have any serious underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, or if your immune system is compromised for any reason. If you're at higher risk, wash your hands frequently with soap and water for 20 seconds. Avoid touching your face. Disinfect frequently touched objects. And wash up after being in public spaces. And when it comes to social situations, less is better. Stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from other people. Better still, stay home if you can. If you're sick, please stay home and away from others. And if you think you've been exposed to the virus, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. In challenging times, the choices you make are critical. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach, Lance C. Irvin. And just like the Surgeon General said, please continue to follow CDC guidelines, the social distancing, wear your mask. You know, I was watching the news before we started the show today, Lance, and they said in the last 3 days, 3 million people have traveled through the airports of the United States. 3 million people. And this is when them telling everybody stay at home. So I know we're going to have another surge come January because people are just, you know, it's hard to get Americans because we're so free to, you know, try to do what's in the best interest of humanity. But 3 million people in the last 3 days, man.
I'm not going to an airport. I'm not stepping foot in the airport. Every little step I take, you know, be right around my house. That's why I'm happy, Jay, bring on our next guest because he is educated in a lot of this stuff. That's why I can't wait to bring my other cousin, well, my play cousin on. But Jay, I'm not flying anywhere. Are you flying, driving? What are you doing?
I ain't even picking nobody up from the airport. What you talking about? You better Uber wherever you going. It ain't open in my house. So, you know, I made the sacrifice. It's going to be me and my wife, our own little special Christmas, just like it was at Thanksgiving, man.
Come on.
Man. All right, let's go ahead and bring him on, though, man. This is our guy, man. You know, he is in his first year as the head coach at Loyola, Maryland. A lot of people didn't know it's a Loyola in Maryland.
T in like his second or third year.
Oh, what?
He's veteran at this. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. See,
he's veteran at this.
That's why you can't trust Wikipedia. In his second or third year, we're going to find out. at Loyola, Maryland. He played his college ball at Northwestern. I got that part right, though, right?
Yeah, you got that right.
All right, he's a Wildcat, and he's from Joliet. He's from down there yonder where Maya live. So, unless Wikipedia screwed that up too, but we're going to ask him. Tavares Hardy, he's joining us. What's up, Coach T?
Yo, what's up, fellas? Thanks for having me.
That's my man right there. What's up, T. Hardy? How are you, sir?
Man, doing well. Y'all got some of that stuff right. So,
what is it, T? It's your third year, correct?
Yeah.
I apologize. Now I got to listen to you clown me on our Sunday conversation. So, from the OG to the young G, I apologize, T. What's up, babe? Great to have you on the show.
Now, we go way back, Lance. Back in my day, coming up in Joliet, coming up to Chicago, playing with Nick and them, all y'all on the sideline clowning us. Never forget it.
Hey, y'all AAU career was a hot mess. You Nick and all them. Y'all stuff was crazy, but I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I appreciate wanting you to be on the show, T. But I had to start off and ask you a question. I was telling my cousin Jason earlier, I said, Tavares is one of the few coaches in college that hadn't had an opportunity to play this year. Talk to them about how your league canceled fall sports earlier and how you and your team been adjusting with not being able to play a game thus far.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. It's been tough. One of the things from just our league in general, we mirror the Ivy League in a lot of ways, similar in terms of size of schools, location, academic standards. And so a lot of times, we share the same officials, like just a bunch of things. And so when they canceled early on, we got a little nervous thinking we were going to cancel the whole season. But I'll give our presidents credit. They stood on their own this time, canceled the non-conference. They just felt like it'd be safer for us and safer for our student athletes not to travel as much, not to try to squeeze in as many games as we can and just lock in on our conference where we have more control. So that's what it came down to for our presidents. It was their decision. They didn't take much input from anybody else because they don't have to. But it turned out to be one that all the coaches and all the athletic administrators felt comfortable with.
So what have you been doing, T, to keep your guys motivated? Because I know they're watching games on TV like, man, coach, when are we going to start playing? When are we going to start playing? My poor little team, T, we done played like 9 games, and it might be nine too many. No, yeah. But anyway, what have you been doing to keep your team motivated?
No, that's been a challenge because, Lance, we got a good group. We got a good group of guys. They have high expectations for themselves. And so, one of the things that, we were upset about at first that kind of worked out for us a little bit. We didn't have them back. So we didn't have them this summer. We didn't get them until October. And so we kind of had a little bit of resocialization that we had to get in. We didn't just throw them into the fire. And so, they haven't been sort of, I know some of the guys we talk to, some of the coaches feel like their guys have just been there forever and they're starting to get a little worn down. We don't have that going on. Our guys are excited. They're ready for the competition. But, just practices have been lively. It's hard as a coach because you want to push them and start training competitiveness, but you also don't want to hurt anybody. And between us and everybody watching, we got banged up a little bit just trying to get everybody back because they took 9 months off. And that's a hard thing for all us coaches and just trying to work through that and do what's right for our student athletes.
Coach Hardy, so you're 0-0. The good thing is you're still in first place.
Yeah. Undefeated.
You're undefeated this year. You said it. Your league kind of mirrors the Ivy League, and I respect those leagues like that where you have that high academic standard, and how the sports are not so much of the business as they are in some of the other Power 5 conferences and stuff like that. Before you dealing with these young men that you have, how has it been for them socially, basically being away at college? Nobody else is there, in a lot of instances, it's just them. The basketball season has started. They're not playing games. How are they handling the social aspect of all this, and are you concerned about the mental health of your team?
Yeah, you hit it to a T. Nobody else is on campus. We got a select few, very few students on campus, but really it's just men's and women's basketball that are on our campuses right now. And so, it is a challenge socially. They've been disciplined. We asked them to make sure they're following all the proper protocols, both CDC recommendations as well as whatever our Loyola administration has put forth. So they've been good with that. But it's a challenge. On one hand, like Lance said, watching the other teams play, but also just, how do you stay sane? How do you stay normal? We've been trying to do all sorts of stuff to combat it, Zooms and escape rooms and, obviously being able to, when we were finally allowed to get back on the court, that took a lot of sort of that pent up aggression that they had that let them get it out a little bit. But no, it's been challenging. That's something we talk about all the time. We think about all the time, the coursework. I'm happy, that their grades are coming back now, and they did a phenomenal job. But it's a different environment for what they were used to, and so it's not easy for any of our young men and women right now.
And T, you did something earlier this year, like I'm gonna give you credit for. I don't know if too many people know watching. You hired a female coach as a full-time assistant. I think it's only 2 in NCAA today. Talk about what led you to hire Coach Adams.
Yeah, Tiny, as she likes to go by.
Coach Tiny.
Yeah, Coach Tiny Adams. She reached out to me when I first got the job, and I kind of had my staff in order. But I'm the type of person that I remember a lot. I remember encounters, first impressions, and things like that. And so, when a spot opened up and I'm evaluating what was important to us and what was important for this group that we had, at the forefront was player development. I needed somebody that was fired up and eager to get into the gym with our players. And somebody they can relate to and somebody that they respected. And when you look at Coach Tiny's background, I mean, she is the greatest player in Morgan State basketball history, a Baltimore school down the street. She had incredible ties to the Baltimore community. She played overseas. And so to me, that stuff transfers. I mean, she was a pro player. That stuff transfers across gender. And so as long as she fit the personality and had the passion and wanted to be a part of what we're doing, I wanted to give her a look. And we had conversations. And, out of everybody that I talked to, I just felt like she was the right fit for what we were trying to build. And, she's hit the ground running. She's been great. I mean, I got a phenomenal staff across the board, but she was certainly a great addition. And I'm excited to watch her grow in this business.
Because it's tough when you're picking the staff, right? And you want to get the best fit. And oftentimes women have a hard time crossing over into men's sports. So I just want to commend you for doing something that was out of the box. Because when you first said it, I was like, whoa, that make a lot of sense. But leave it up to you to do something out the box that makes a lot of sense.
Lance, it wasn't like, because I thought about this and I talked to her about it. I talked to my wife about it. It was never about, let's be trendsetters or anything like that. It was about, and I believe in this in every aspect of life. People deserve opportunities regardless of what the traditional fits are. I believe in diversity. I believe in inclusion. But I wasn't out hunting the country to hire a woman. I let it be known that I would, and I had a few reach out and we talked, and so it worked out. But never was the goal to try to get publicity or anything like that. I think it was just the right fit, right time, and she's going to be great for it.
Got you.
Once again, you're being joined by Coach Tavares Hardy. He is the men's head basketball coach at Loyola, Maryland. And Coach Hardy, my question for you, as you relate to head coaching gigs, what was the process like for you coming up through the coaching ranks and then you landing your first head coaching gig? Because I know it's not easy road to get these jobs, and there's only so many of them out there. But talk to me a little bit about your story and how you rose through the coaching ranks to where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. As you stated earlier, I know y'all was talking a little bit about Northwestern football. My guys battled, first of all. I thought they did a phenomenal job. I was really proud of them. But going to Northwestern, I mean, I didn't really know it coming out of Joliet what Northwestern was. I knew it was a chance to play in the Big Ten. I knew it was a chance. They hadn't had a whole lot of success, so I thought I'd have an opportunity to play as a freshman. None was promised, but I ended up starting every game as a freshman. So, and then when I got there, I kind of got exposed to, Northwestern's a big time academic school with a lot of pop. and so, when I was at Northwestern as a player and a student athlete, I kind of learned that when you're done playing ball, you're going to have a lot of choices. And to be straight up with y'all, when I graduated, had a good career, wasn't an NBA prospect, but got a chance to play overseas professionally. And then I knew when basketball came to an end that I wanted to do something in the business world. And so I worked in Chicago in the financial district for JP Morgan for 3 years. As I'm doing that, I'm coaching AAU ball just for fun. No strings attached, just did it for fun. And it kind of sparked a passion for coaching I didn't really know existed. And so I get an opportunity to start my career at Northwestern as an assistant, 26-year-old assistant in the Big Ten. I was the youngest in the Big Ten at the time. And so I do that for 7 years, ended up leaving there, going to Georgetown to work for Coach John Thompson III for 3 years. So moved to DC, first time outside of playing overseas that I was away from Chicago. Was there for 3 years, went down to Atlanta, coached at Georgia Tech in the ACC for a couple of years, and then got this opportunity. And long-winded way of saying, Jason, you look at the places I've been, there's a lot of similarities. They're all great academic schools. Mm-hmm. They all play a great brand of basketball, the Big Ten, the ACC, the Big East, and now the Patriot League, for this level. And to be honest, they all have a major city right at the fingertips. Right, Chicago, right. Yep, Atlanta, and now Baltimore. And so that's sort of who I am. That's my brand. I know how to tell that story. I know how to make that successful. I know how to, sort of help our student athletes utilize all the things that means, what it means to go to a great academic school in a major media market. And so that's what sort of led me to Loyola. And it's been going great. I mean, obviously, as we all know in coaching, you got to build, you got to lay the foundation. But I'm really happy with the way we're recruiting. I'm happy with the steps that we've been able to take, and I'm looking forward to getting back out there because I think you guys are going to see something special out of our program over the next few years. So
you grew up down there in Joliet. What high school did you go to in Joliet?
Yeah, I went to Providence Catholic, so outside the city. But yeah, Providence. So we played in the Chicago Catholic League, and the Catholic League was crazy back then with Maggette and those guys, Brother Rice, Leo always good, Mount Carmel always good. It's just a grind every game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I know those Providence Catholic, Joliet Catholic football games, that's the big thing down there too. So, I think that's what most people know it for. But Joliet got a lot of talent, man, a lot of talent in a lot of sports. And, it's that funny joke, they say they're down there in Will County. We don't consider you Chicago, but you are still part of the Chicago area. And, I welcome everybody from down there all the way from Waukegan up north to Joliet down there in southwest Will County. A follow-up question to that. When will you play in this year? Do you all have a first game set, or is your schedule still kind of tentative?
Yeah, so we're playing conference only. The setup is a little crazy, but it's what the presidents agreed to and what they feel like we can get done. So we're playing January 2nd is our first game. January 3rd is our second game, and it's against the same team.
Wow.
Yeah, and so our league, we're playing. We're not even playing everybody in our conference. To be honest, it's
crazy.
It's a crazy. We're playing American 6 times. We're playing Navy 4 times. We're playing Lehigh, Lafayette, and Bucknell twice each. And we won't even play Colgate. We won't even play Boston. We won't even play Holy Cross. We won't even play Army until you get to Patriot League tournament time.
Jay, they playing one team 6 times.
Hey, you know what's crazy, Lance? When I left Northwestern to go to Georgetown, the coach whose spot I took was leaving Georgetown to get the head job at American. And so we're in the same coaching family. So we run pretty much the same stuff. So 6 times we're going to be playing against dudes that play the same way we play. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be like practice.
Hey, you know what, T? Let me ask you, because you said something about coaching at Georgetown for JT3. And we know Big John passed away a couple of months ago, right? Talk to me about, did you learn any lessons from Big John, and do you have any stories that you could tell us about Big John? Because I think all of us in basketball, at least African American coaches, we all love Coach Thompson. I know I did, and I know how you feel about it.
Man, I mean, every day, sometimes multiple times a day, he was dropping knowledge on us. You know, I think it's become commonly known how smart he was. I don't think that's a secret, especially amongst us Black men, especially amongst us in the profession. I think it's getting out there to more people, just how smart and intelligent he was. He was funny. Like, he would crack on you in a second. Like, it just came off. Like, it was almost like, you know, Bernie Mac or Ced the Entertainer. Like, he just had it right off the top of the dome. But, you know, it would be practices where, you know, something didn't go well, he would be at every practice almost, and something, you know, he would wait for his son to go upstairs because he didn't want to overstep his boundaries in that regard. Most of the time. Sometimes he didn't care, but he would sit us down. I mean, we'd be grown men. I got, you know, at the time I had 3 kids. Now I got 4, and we'd be sitting on the floor at his feet for about 2 hours after practice, just listening to him drop knowledge on us. You know, sometimes it's about basketball, sometimes it's about life. But it was one of the most incredible 3 years of my life. You know, my boy, when I got offered the job, I was at a wedding in Chicago, and one of my Northwestern teammates, it was his wedding, and we started rapping about, okay, yo, JT3 just called me, like, what y'all think? And one of my guys said, look, man, straight up, after all this rapping and going back and forth, he was like, we all grew up wanting to go to Georgetown. That was his words to me. We all grew up wanting to go to Georgetown, and it's because of Coach Thompson and you know, the legacy that he built there and all those great players that we wanted to be like. So it was a no-brainer for me, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity.
You know, real quick, I have something else for you. You set me up in the escape room that day too. When we did date night with the wives, I want you to know, Jay, he basically cheated. He cheated myself and Paula. Like, you know that I'm not gonna curse. You know daggone well you didn't come in first place that night.
That's not true, man. We was on it.
Hey, Jay, they finished the escape room in about 2 minutes. He rigged the damn escape room on. I'm not gonna hold that against you though. You still my man, but I'm not letting that one down.
No, man. D Gates had control of that. D Gates control. I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know, Northwest is one of the top 10 academic schools in the country.
Are they better than Iowa? Is it a better academic school than Iowa? Because my super producer, I'm gonna get her fired up. She always coming on Iowa this, Iowa that, Iowa this, Iowa that. I told her we was bringing the Northwestern guy. She don't want a piece of UT because I told her you was super smart too. But
yeah,
I'm go ahead. Go ahead.
I watched this, so I don't want to I ain't got no beef. I don't want no drama.
There you go. But, he's smart.
You know,
Man, where
all
you
I'm gonna
from?
say is Google. Google is, you know, you can find out all the information you need. You just type it in. U.S. Business News World Report.
So, Coach C, let me ask you about your conference. You know, you obviously got a crazy regular season schedule. Are you guys going to do your tournament? And are you still going to have that automatic bid going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, so we definitely are going to do our tournament and get, you know, we're a one bid league. It's no secret. We hope in the future we can build a roster where we can get in that large bid, but we know we're a ways away from that right now. But yeah, the goal is conference tournament. You know, the hard part is, you know, in terms of eligibility for the NCAA tournament, you got to hit 13 games. But here's the trick. If everybody in your league don't hit 13, your league can still get the bid. And so, you know, our fingers are crossed just in terms of making sure it's fair. Look, if it's us because we earned it, I want it to be us. If it's somebody else, you know, because they earned it, then they deserve it. I don't want it to be the school that deserves to go can't go because of some glitch in the system or some rule. Again, I actually think Ohio State deserved to be in the Big Ten championship. Like, you know,
talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because like it's such, like you said it, Lance, it's such an awkward year. And I'm not saying they deserve to be in the whole playoffs, you know, but I think they deserve to be in that Big Ten championship game. And you know, it's just one of those years where we're gonna have to everybody say the word pivot. It's the new it is what it is. We got to pivot. And so whenever we can pivot and do what's right, that's what I want to do.
Oh, cousin Jason, you don't have a response for T speaking his mind about that? Come on, talk up now.
I don't have a problem with the man speaking his mind, but he just know he not Ohio State, so he better get them damn 13 games in.
Hey, I know that's right, because they is not – I might be saying all this politically correct stuff, but we ain't got Buckeye Nation behind us that's going to pull the string, so you right on with that, Jason.
He's a smart man. He went to Northwestern. You know?
Now, T, now let's talk about my Bears, T, because you follow football like I follow football. Talk to us about our Bears, T. I mean, what you think about Mitch, T?
Man, we can't get a good quarterback. I'm sure y'all talked about this before, man. I was in kindergarten when we had Jim McMahon. I remember him like it was yesterday. And we've been struggling ever since.
Go ahead.
No, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a funny story. My first Bears game, I was in college. First time I got to a Bears game. Me and my brother, we got tickets, and I swear. So remember, the Bears had Cade McNown in the late '90s.
Oh God, yeah.
Another bust, just like Mitch. Number 2 pick. I thought he was great. I love playing video games with Cade. He played at UCLA. That was my team. So I thought we had one. So just like you just asked about Mitch, I swear I'm being dead serious. My brother, he's a few years older than me. The crowd, Cade throwing, picks and bad passes. The crowd is silent. All of a sudden, my brother starts, Miller. Next thing you know, the whole stadium is chanting Miller to get Jim Miller in the game. Like, that's how I would do that every game if I was there and this was on the field. I don't care who the backup is. I'm chanting who that I'm trying to do what my brother did.
There you go. See, he had seen enough of Mitch just like I've seen enough of Mitch. Everybody else trying to get us man an extra year because he done put 2 games together against terrible teams. I'm like, no, I'm good with this movie. I've seen this before. Let me ask you a final kind of basketball question for you, Coach T. What type of players do you kind of look for when you're recruiting?
Yeah,
obviously you got high academic standards there, but you also, you're looking for talent too. You want to win. That's the whole point of playing.
Hey, T got a pro on his team too, so go ahead. T, tell him seriously.
Yeah, no, I talked about sort of that diversity that I look for, and so our team, I left the Chicago Bulls after the last dance. Like literally, I divorced them when they could have brought Jordan back and chose not to with that whole deal. And so I went over to the Spurs when Tim Duncan got drafted. So, I got my 6 ships with the Bulls, and then I got my 5 with the Spurs. That wasn't, I think it was more me than them. But what I say is, I'm a big Spurs fan, and so I hired an international coach. Not only do I have 1 or 2 female coaches in NCAA men on the men's side, I also have one of the few international coaches on my staff. Ivo Simovic from Serbia, and he has incredible ties over there. So we got access to guys who understand what Loyola is all about. They get the academic piece and they want it, they seek it, but they're also extremely talented. And so the kid Lance is talking about, he was MVP of the under-18 FIBA championships. He and another kid, his classmate with us, were on the gold medal team. Like, it's a big deal. That's the same award that like Tony Parker won and Jokic won and Luka won. Like it's a big deal. So, we got a nice international flair, but we also have a nice sort of Maryland-Baltimore flair. And because we got to take care of the crib. This is where we're from. This is where we're located. And so that mix of good, strong Maryland kids with some international guys. And then, based on where I've been, I've coached in Atlanta, coached in Chicago, coached in DC. I would love to come back and get the right fit guy, that comes from those areas. But to answer your question, Jason, specifically, I like versatile players. I like players that we don't have to put in a box. We don't have to put in a bubble. We can help them expand the way we play. So much of what we do, I see it in NBA games with the spacing, the ball movement, player movement. So that's our story in terms of how we recruit. And as long as you care about academics, you care about life after basketball, and you want to be successful, Loyola is a great place for you.
And one final question for you. I got about 30 seconds, but I want to ask you real quick. In recruiting those international players, do you find that there's a trend that the international players take the opportunity that's given to them in terms of a full ride scholarship more seriously than our American players are currently doing?
I think they think about things the right way, and so the kid that got MVP of the FIBA deal, number one, he got offered pro contracts. Number two, he could have gone to almost any power conference school that he wanted to. He chose Loyola because of the relationship, because we stress academics and we stress player development. And so, obviously, we're always on pins and needles about transfers and things like that. But he could have gone. We had coaches over there. I'm in Greece watching them play, and there's coaches from the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and every other place. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried that they're going to steal him because we got a chance to get to know his family, his mom and dad, the way they think about things, and they care about the holistic approach to life. They're not just making a basketball decision. And that's one thing that, I wish our young men and women in America would consider more. Like, yes, you want to be a pro, but you also want to prepare yourself for life after basketball and be with a person, be with a staff that's going to commit to your complete development, not just use you. And I think there's too much using going on in our business, to be straight up.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us so much, Coach Hardy of the undefeated Loyola Maryland Greyhounds. They're still in first place. And they're going to be playing their first game coming up here in a couple of weeks. Good luck to you in the season. Thanks for joining us.
Man,
Hey,
T, appreciate it. Hey, T, mail me some of those lobsters that you normally barbecue.
Hey, I will, but for lobsters, I need some Harold's and I need some Lou Malnati's.
T, I got you.
Good Tavares Hardy, everybody. Stay tuned. Coming up after the commercial break, we've got Sydney Colson joining us.
Yes, let's get it.
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin and my kinky hair.
See me. Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Hey y'all, this is the grandfather, Tony Allen. Listen up, it's time to be first team all defense against the coronavirus. Here's a few tips. You gotta lay low, stay at home as much as possible, and please stay away from the crowds and gatherings. The more social distance from others, better for all. Even if you don't feel sick, stop the spread and play lockdown defense. Enjoy all that good Memphis restaurant food you want, but please make it takeout or delivery. If you feel sick, do not go to work or the store. And yes, I know you hear this a lot, but wash your hands. We're going to get through this, but we've got to work together like a team to make it happen. For more information on the coronavirus, go www.cdc.gov. And remember, first team all defense.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching What's Up, Cuz? And that's my big mouth cousin, Lance Irvin. You're hearing in the background. I don't know what he's shouting about. You must be watching a game or something.
No, it's just hollering when I see Tony Allen, the grinder. Ooh, first team on defense. Ooh, I was a defensive player. I like AJ. I love the players that play defense.
Hey, man, the West Side brothers, man. They play D, baby.
Hey, first team on defense.
That's why Patrick Beverly's still in the league.
That's why I love Patrick Beverly. Him, Gary Payton, the glove. I'm about all that.
I know that's right. Hey, we got results from our poll question from last week. We asked the poll question of our viewers what they were expecting from the Bulls this upcoming season. Were they expecting them to make the playoffs, not make the playoffs, be as bad as they were last year, or were they going to be competing for the championship as the NBA season kicks off tonight? First game about to tip off now. We do have some results. And 86% of those voting said the Bulls are going to make the playoffs this year. 14% said they will not make the playoffs. And nobody said they're going to compete for the championship. And nobody said they were going to be bad again. So looks like everyone in Chicago is being optimistic about our Bulls. I can tell you just from watching the preseason games, I'm so happy they have a real coach.
I haven't really had the opportunity to watch, Jay, but I think we all know and think Billy Donovan is a really good coach. So, time will tell. I think we have some good pieces. I've been saying that. I think we will make the playoffs. But with that being said, time will tell. Because the East, if we can overcome some of the people on the back end, like the Atlanta Hawks, maybe the Pistons, some of those type teams, then we have a chance. But the Hawks picked up some really good players. So it's going to be an interesting year, and it's a short season.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, it seemed like the season just ended last week.
It did.
We started already. I'm watching LeBron and AD. I'm like, hey, y'all just played like the other day.
Right back at it, man. People still signing contract extensions.
I know, like people. So it's going to be interesting. I'm happy that it started, but that was quick.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, our next guest, what can we say about this young lady? We were trying to get her this summer, actually. When we were interviewing a lot of the Sky players, we covered a lot of them. And, I've told you guys before, my favorite group of athletes to cover in my 20-year career has always been the WNBA players. I've always thought they were the most straightforward athletes in the interviews. And I really enjoyed speaking to them. And a lot happened over the summer. And I saw the social justice initiatives that the WNBA and their players did. And what I kept telling everybody is like, this was always them. They're not just doing this year. They've been doing this for the last 20 years that I've been covering them. And I think it's because, a lot of them are really connected to the community. A lot of them are mothers. A lot of them are wives. So, they really have see the big picture of things. But this next guest, we were able to get her on. She was an NCAA champion. She's played this past season here with our Chicago Sky. She's originally from Houston, and she's representing A&M, them Aggies. We got a lot to talk to her about. Gig 'em. Our girl, Sydney Colson, is joining us. What's up, Sid?
Hi, how are y'all?
Man, I'm doing good, Miss Sydney. How are you? Finally had the opportunity to meet you. I've been following you through my little sister, Kelly Bond. I'm a huge Aggie fan. So I remember watching you play. You were one of my favorite players. Please don't tell none of the other Aggies that. I don't want nobody coming at me, though.
I'm going to tell Sydney Carter what you said now.
Yeah, Coach Bond, I just talked to her the other day. Yeah, she helped get this going. And Sydney Carter's actually on staff at Rice now. At A&M now. They just played Rice the other day before their break, but thank you. I'm glad to be here with y'all. She said y'all are like family, so.
Yeah, because, my little cousin over there, that is my little cousin. We were trying to get you on during the summer, so he kept acting like, because he's a journalist by trade, Sydney. I'm a coach. So he kept trying to flex his muscle. We going to do this, we going to do that. I said, Jason, if you let me call Coach Kelly, maybe we could get this happening. No. So I said, okay, cool, go ahead, take it. So last week, Kelly was on the show, and she was like, you know what? Let me call Sydney and get on the show. So once again, I appreciate you being on the show. And please pay my cousin no mind because he is crazy.
I know, I've been listening.
So Sydney, let us just ask you, this past WNBA season was like none other. You all had to go down there. You had to be in the bubble. And you were actually delayed from getting down there to the bubble. But you did get down there. You were able to join the team. What was the experience like for you this year playing in the WNBA?
It was really different, obviously, something that we've never encountered before, a situation unlike any other, but we had to adjust. But it was a long time, I guess, in the works, because we'd had so many conversations on Zoom calls and town hall meetings. Like, just while COVID was going on, we were trying to see, where were players, what was our frame of mind, how are we able to physically work out, because we're not like a lot of NBA players where people can have a court, like you got a court in your house, or everybody don't have a court outside. So it's different for a professional athlete to be working out during COVID and trying to stay in shape. Like, I'm basically indoors, gyms aren't available, so not really able to maintain like a workout or your body like you would before. So we were already having that hurdle, and then once George Floyd and Breonna Taylor happened, everybody's obviously, like morale or desire to play. It wasn't the most important thing at that moment. So there was a lot that had to go into us even having that season. But when we decided to dedicate it to Breonna Taylor, say her name, I think it was much easier for people to get on board, because we knew we'd be playing for something like impactful.
Right. And then, even on you all on the trip down there to the bubble, we had Coach James on the show, and he talked about the incident he had on the plane with the flight attendant. And I was like, my goodness, it was just a really rough year. And then you were back at home.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get down there to be with the team. Talk a little bit about that and what it was like for you not being able to be down there originally when the season started.
Yeah, we talked about that incident on a Zoom call, but I wasn't there with the team yet, because like a week before I was gonna go to not a week, a day before I was gonna go to Chicago for like a preseason in Bradenton at IMG. I lost my sense of taste and smell completely, and so I've been looking at what the symptoms were for COVID, and I'd already had a headache for like 2 or 3 days. So I called our trainer. I said, I think I might have COVID. I can't taste or smell at all, and so I went to get tested. Turned out that I did, and so this set me back like a month and some weeks. So I was really late getting down there. Missed preseason, missed training camp, everything. So it was an adjustment, but a part of me knew, like I still wanted to go because of what the season was going to mean. Like, not even basketball wise to play. Like, I wasn't even as much in a super competitive mindset. I just wanted to go because who we were dedicating our season to, honestly.
Right. And I mean, Sydney, first of all, very happy to just have you here. You're a COVID survivor, and you can speak to it in ways that other people really can't, because you actually experienced it. And, hopefully you're not suffering any long-term effects from it as well. But the social justice stuff that happened over the summer, you said that was the reason for you playing when we had your girl, Gabby Spooky G, when she was on. She talked about the social justice initiatives as well, and how the season just seemed to take on a different kind of mindset for everybody. What was it like for you down there and all the social justice initiatives that you and the Sky have started that came out of this tragedy that happened over the summer?
I mean, Gabby was a huge part in a lot of the initiatives that we got started with the Sky. A lot of us were just like, okay, once we were there, the competitive part took over, because we're still, like, that's our job, and we're athletes at the end of the day. So of course, I'm not just going out here to show up. Like, I want to compete. But it was good that we had a chance to get our fans and owners and challenge other teams to get involved by, donating money every time we won a game, donating to certain causes, like however many points or however many assists, however many 3-pointers. Like, we tried to do some things to make a difference financially, because we know a lot of these grassroots organizations and these nonprofits who've been doing this work, long before our season took place, and those that will continue to do it, after we're done. it's like they need money to be able to, survive and do the work that they do. So I think it was really meaningful for us to be able to challenge our fans and the WNBA to make sure that we're not just like talking, but we're giving financially to organizations who need it.
You know what? And kind of like my cousin Jason said, Sydney, I want to give you credit because reading over your information that you put on and talking about the AA policy form and some of the social justice issues. Have you always been that heavy in social justice issues?
No, I haven't, and I think that like this reckoning that we saw taking place after George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, like we saw a lot about Black people challenging white people to educate themselves, to be allies, to really look within yourself and your families and your groups and figure out how you are contributing to systemic racism and the prejudices that you hold. But I think a lot of Black people also realize in this moment that, like, I'm not doing a ton for Black people either. Like, I'm not as educated as I want to be, or at least that's where I found myself. I was like, I haven't done like enough in my mind. That's how I felt. And so this season presented an opportunity for me to challenge myself and to really, see like what am I about? What am I willing to do? Putting other people and other causes before yourself. So no, it had not been my life prior, but it's sad to say because of how it came about, but I'm glad that now it's something that I've taken, an interest in.
No, perfect. Like my daughter Brooklyn is 20, so I told her we were gonna have you on the show, and she loves Texas A&M too. She's a huge fan, so I said, Brookie, we're gonna have Sydney Colson on the show. She's like, "Ooh, Daddy, her social media game is tight." she said some stuff, so I looked at her. I said, so I jumped on your social media page and started. No, but you said something that stuck with me, and it really made me think. You said, after you all roll out the vaccine, you said, can you get us something to regain our sense of smell and taste? When I read that, I was like, that's some heavy stuff. Was like, what? I mean, I was like, man, that is good. Like, I didn't know if you was joking, if you was serious.
I'm very serious. I still don't have my taste and smell. So I'm like,
that is crazy. So number one, I like what you're doing because you never know who's reading and watching you. Because I knew my daughter knew you, but I didn't know she really follows you like that. You said something too. You said, I'll read further. I gotta stop laughing. You was like, Diamond. There was something about Diamond the Shield. Diamond, come get these grits. Diamond, come get these grits. I said, what? So I gotta ask you, do you like grits or oatmeal? Because you should have said, Diamond, come get the oatmeal. So what's your favorite recipe? Is it grits or oatmeal? Talk to me about that.
Good question. I mean, we ate a lot of both growing up. Like I'm from the South. I'm from Houston. So we either be in Louisiana or be in Houston. It was just like that's just what we ate, and that's like that's how Black people would yell when food was ready. So I just would joke with them, treat them like my children when we were staying together, and just be goofy with them in the house, just joking around. But I think I love kids more.
Definitely. So talk to me about now. I know in 2011 you guys won the championship at Texas A&M. Talk to me about, because I'm pretty sure, I think Kelly said that maybe y'all have a reunion coming up. I'm not sure. Talk to me about what was your fondest memories about winning the championship at Texas A&M.
Well, it was the first time our program had made it to the Final Four, and so in order for us to get to the Final Four, we beat Baylor for the fourth time in our season. After our fourth matchup, they beat us 3 times prior, like twice during the regular season, once in the Big 12 tournament, and then we played them again in the Elite Eight. And on the other side, like it was kind of the same story for Notre Dame. They played UConn 3 times prior in the season and lost all 3 times, and beat them in the 4th time to get to the Final Four. So it was kind of like these 2 teams that people, like knew were good, but maybe they didn't necessarily want to see make it instead of UConn and Baylor. So when we got there, we were interviewed by like different commentators and reporters,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like we all left with that feeling like, okay, you all interviewed us, but some of you all weren't giving us like the same respect as the other teams that were there.
Mm-hmm.
So we were playing like with an extra chip on our shoulder. And if you go back and see, like we'll see once we have the reunion next month, but the stadium in Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis was like one section behind our bench, maybe a little bigger, of Texas A&M fans, across from our bench, and then the rest of the field house was like Notre Dame. It's not that far.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the
It's
corner.
not that far from their school, so people could just drive out, basically. And so after we won, the confetti that dropped from the ceiling was Notre Dame colors.
You lie.
We were still just looking like, wow. So even after winning, y'all still didn't even have some other confetti ready. But
wow, that's deep.
That was my favorite moment. We won, but
That's deep. Sydney, throughout your career, college or pro, who's the toughest opponent you've ever had to go up against?
Yeah, that's a tough question. There's so many good players in the WNBA. I don't know. I can't think of a name off the top, but usually, like point guards who can shoot it, who can go off the bounce, like they're just like a constant threat. Like Christy Tolliver's one of them because she could handle the ball, she could shoot it off the bounce with like not a lot of room.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I found it was tougher to guard players who you had to really worry about every level of their game.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's a little easier because I'm not known as a 3-point shooter, so people can sometimes play off of me. So whenever I had to guard players who were better at all three levels, it was a little tougher. Chelsea Gray's another really
Kind
good
of like
guard.
Sue Bird, maybe Diana Taurasi, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't guard Diana as much because she was so much bigger.
Sydney, like, whoo, thank you. I didn't get that assignment.
Bigger than me, but yeah, there's some major talent in the WNBA, so it was definitely in the league compared to college.
One of the benefits of you winning that championship in 2011 was you got to go to the White House and you got to meet President Barack Obama. And I know you still have that picture as your Twitter kind of background. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about what that was like for you and the team to be able to go there and meet with President Obama and First Lady Michelle.
I mean, it was just as incredible as you'd imagine. In 2008, and A&M is a conservative school, so like in 2008, I can still remember like the negative responses on campus to him winning, like racism that we would see, whether implicit or overtly expressed. But once we won and knew we would be going to see them, it was huge for people in my family, for my elders. And so I remember seeing my family, not long before I was going to be leaving. And my grandma was like, when you see Barack, you tell him I said give him hell, because this is when he was going to be up for
re-election. Yeah.
For re-election. And so once I met him, everybody like, you shook hands with him at the door and took a picture, and then like went into the Oval Office and we all waited until everybody was done doing their handshake. So when I shook his hand, I was like, oh my gosh, so nice to meet you. And my grandma said, give him hell. He said, you tell grandma I sure will. So she was so excited when I got back and heard that. So that was probably the best moment, just being able to relay a message for her, for someone who, hadn't seen that in their lifetime.
Cindy, I have a difficult question for you.
Okay.
Because I have a difficult question. Leslie Jones, Samore, or Tiffany Haddish? Like, which one is your comedic skills like? None of the above or one of those?
Okay, it was Leslie. And
Leslie Jones, Tiffany Haddish,
yeah,
or Samoa. I don't know if you know who Samoa is.
Yeah.
Or you could say Richard Pryor. You might want to say Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy.
Good question. Like some of my stuff can be a little raunchy, maybe like Samara or Tiffany in that regard. But I honestly think I'm more like probably like Issa Rae or maybe on the Sykes. My humor can be dry at times and really sarcastic. So yeah, probably like a combination of those three.
Okay, because we know you already started playing your little second career here after basketball as this stand-up comedian, and I was like, oh, okay, see it gonna flow like that. And you know, my cousin here, you know, he went to high school with Corey Slocum, the comedian, and then one of our good friends is also comedian Kevin Williams, who has his own podcast. And I know both of those guys are watching our show right now. So, you know, if you want to, you know, drop a joke or two, you know, go ahead, Sid. You know, this is what it's all about. You got to be able to talk to the people if you're going to do that second career, girl.
See, y'all going to try to put me on the spot. See, this is what I'm hoping to do. A lot of people were telling me I should like try improv first because I want to act. More than doing like stand-up comedy. That's just something I kind of want to challenge myself to see if I could be decent. But really, I think improv is where everybody was saying, oh, you'll get like your timing, be able to, you know, be quick with other people and challenge yourself in that way. And a lot of people feel like it helped with their acting skills. But honestly, I've written material. Is honestly, a lot of it is not appropriate.
On this show, it probably is, Sid. Trust me.
What, do y'all be talking recklessly on here?
Yeah, you know, this ain't network TV, Sid. I'll say that. There are no.
Look, he said his daughter might be watching. I don't want to offend.
No, Sid, but I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm not gonna, because man, I was listening. I was like, I said, man, Sydney said some funny stuff. Like the one you was like, you know, maybe if I try these jokes, blah blah blah. I just started laughing. So I told Jason, man, I'm calling my boy Corey Holcomb. I went to school with Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb thought he could play basketball. I went to junior college for a year. I don't know if you heard of Corey Holcomb, but Corey Holcomb thought he could play basketball. So Corey, yeah, I am clowning you, Corey, but you see, my man. But Corey got his best job cracking jokes. Corey was funny as hell in college. I was like, man, y'all better leave Corey alone. You know how people and the fans will start talking about your team and saying something crazy. I'm like, man, Corey turned around, give him that look. We're like, Corey, don't get started, man. Corey, you gonna shut the whole gym down.
Right.
But, I mean, because man, so let me ask you this, Sydney. Like my cousin Jason tried to get you to tell a joke. That's on you. But that stuff you say on your Instagram page and all that stuff is funny. So hopefully, you know, you could get it out. And I know a couple of people, not saying that you need help, but anything I could do to help you, I will, because you see how I started laughing about the grits. I'm like, Sydney, she making grits and cracking jokes. And I'm like, damn, is she serious? But let me ask you this another question, because I don't know if you're going to get some confidence to spit a joke. But like I said, now y'all see you have all the Nike gear on, right? And I asked your coach this last week. I'm going to see how well you know Kelly Bond. What was her favorite pair of Jordans? If she could pick a pair. What was your coach's favorite pair of Jordan? And she's not going to feed you if you don't guess the right pair. Because I know when you go back to Texas, you're going to try to eat.
For sure. I think the Bread 11, she had them up in her office, like on display. She had that particular shoe. Is it
Matter
not?
Of fact, yeah, she came back and said that. She said, oh, yeah, the Breads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Sid got the right answer.
She'd be cooking now. Me and my teammates would be looking at her social media. We're like, where did this side of Kelly come? We did not get all these meals when we were there. Like these kids now getting crab legs and they getting whole soul food. I'm like, what? Energy.
What you say, Sydney? Energy. You know what? Kind of like my cousin Jason said, we had James Wade on our show earlier. And I think he's a very good coach. Talk to me about playing for Coach Wade. Like, what type of coach is he? Like, does he bring it out of you? I mean, is he a yeller? It seemed like the plays he ran down the stretch and some of the games was great plays. Talk to me about playing for Coach Wade.
Yeah, I think he has a great basketball IQ, a great basketball mind. It wasn't like my introduction to James. He was my assistant coach in San Antonio for 3 years before I played. Before San Antonio, relocated to Vegas. So I already knew him and had a relationship with him. But he's very much a player's coach. Some of the players in the WNBA he coached overseas in Russia. So he has a good bond with a lot of the players. And yeah, he'll yell, but like it's not like an incessant yelling to where you just tone him out. Like I think he knows when to get people fired up. And he's passionate. He was a player himself, so we respect him in that regard. But yeah, he has a great basketball IQ. So he knows how to motivate, and he's good with X's and O's. So I think that he's going to be a successful coach in the league for a long time.
We got a few more minutes here with Sydney Colson, WNBA player. Sydney, I have a couple of questions for you. Let me just ask you, now you're going into this offseason. We haven't had a season schedule set for the WNBA yet. Everything is still kind of fluid. Not sure what your situation is going to be, if you're going to come back here in Chicago and play. But just what are you doing in the offseason to prepare for this upcoming season, and we don't know what's going to happen? And also, have the leagues overseas, have they all been shut down due to COVID as well?
No. So a lot of places, some stopped for a period of time. It's dependent sometimes on whether or not how many players on the team, tested positive. Because once a player tests positive, sometimes the entire team has to quarantine, or like people that they live with. So it did affect some people's games or leagues. But for the most part, most of like my friends or WNBA players that I see and that I follow, they're still playing overseas, and the show hasn't stopped for them. But for me, I don't want to go overseas anymore, really, unless it's just like a great opportunity. But because I want to act and do stand up, do improv, like I wanted to take this off season to actually get started on that stuff, because I was hoping before COVID happened that I would be able to be, in Chicago, because they have some good acting opportunities, some good improv opportunities. Just didn't and so now I've just been doing that, like committing time to watching a lot of stand up, watching or getting enrolled in some acting classes that I'll start after the new year. Just trying to do things like that. And so after the new year, probably like in February is when I'll ramp up like my working out. But I don't know if I'll be back in Chicago. I don't know where I'll be. So it'll just be me working out for if I get a call.
Got you. Definitely a lot of Second City is in Chicago. We got so many great improv places around here. So I think you're definitely in the right spot. Now, I can't let you get out of here without talking about this nonsense that happened yesterday at 11 o'clock Central, where the college football committee decided that Notre Dame and Ohio State needed to be in and not our Texas A&M Aggies. What was your reaction to that nonsense, Sid?
Yeah, I didn't see it until I saw people like on my timeline talking about it, and people were just pissed and had their arguments. I forgot which team. I think maybe Notre Dame, or I don't know which one of them, but one of them only played like 6 games.
That's Ohio
State. So I saw that was like people's gripe, and I think a lot of Aggies were upset because this was a chance for us to be in the tournament playoffs, and possibly have a shot at winning, at least to just be there, because if you're there, you have a shot at winning. But I think to not be picked and be that close, Aggies are passionate about their football, so they were pissed. I was mad. I didn't keep. It's not like I kept up with every game all season, but of course, like I wanted to see them do well. So that was a bummer. Hopefully they'll be close to the same next year. I'm not sure what their team will be looking like, but people got to keep their fingers crossed, I guess. But I know their butt hurt.
I'm sure they are too. And I think Lance got one more question he wanted to ask you.
No, I was just curious, Sydney. So, did you actually have the opportunity to come here, or you missed coming here because you got COVID? Because you didn't have the chance to come here, did you?
Well, this was my first year with Chicago. So had we played a regular season, then I would have been in Chicago. But because we played at IMG,
you didn't get a chance.
Didn't get a chance to actually, make it to the city.
Got you, because I was going to ask you a fool question. I was going to leave you alone. I was going to ask you, did you have the opportunity to go to Harold's? That really would have made you familiar with the city, because Harold's is great, and your coach love Harold's.
I wanted to try all the food, the pizza, everything. Whenever we would be in the airport too, there was this popcorn.
Garrett's.
Yeah, Garrett's popcorn. But yeah, so many, like historical places I wanted to visit and food things. If I don't, if I'm not back with the team next year, then I'll just have to go, to Chicago on my own.
Well, hopefully you will be back. So we appreciate you. Go ahead, Jay. Anything I could do for you, let me know, because you are like family. So
yes, you've been on our show, and we got a lot of contacts with a lot of people, and we'll definitely help you out. We definitely want to see you get that success off the basketball court. I know you're doing so much, and it's just good to see your growth and on the social justice initiatives and all that stuff. And I got my wife's ornament that I got her a couple of years ago for Christmas. So I got my little A&M Christmas ornament that goes on the tree.
Sydney, that's not even his real tree, Sydney. He didn't
know my tree, man.
That's Photoshop.
This ain't Photoshop. I paid $19.95 for that Christmas ornament, so yes, it is. It is on my tree.
That's so cute.
She said that's so cute. She didn't say your tree was nice.
But thank you so much, Sydney. Best of luck to you, and please get healthy. We're gonna push for you to get that sense of taste and smell back here. And I know so many people are dealing with long-term effects. Lance and I lost our aunt to COVID. We've lost friends to COVID. We know a lot of people suffering from the long-term effects of this virus that they're not talking about. So just hang in there, and you're always prayerful for us. And go get them, baby, and turn them horns down.
That's right. Thank y'all so much for having me. I had a blast. I hope we'll get to do this again one day.
Man, thanks, Sydney. I'll be in touch. Appreciate you.
All right, Sydney Colson, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna take a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and chop up a review of 2020 and what we're expecting going forward in 2021 with our super producer, Maya Kai. You're watching What's Up, Cuz.
Compassion, noun. Sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. We're all born with it. It's in us. Don't believe me? When you hear a baby cry, something pulls at you. You want to ease that pain. You want to soothe that hurt. No one had to teach you that. It's called compassion, and it's in you. However, at some point you turned it off when it came to me.
Me.
The cries of my soul have gone unheard, but today, you will hear me.
My heart has wailed a melody loud enough to shatter your ears, and you ignored me. But this week, you will hear me.
This body has beat the drums of anguish, only to be silenced. But this month, you will hear me.
This year,
this decade,
this century,
I will be heard. And you.
And you will be the one to hear me.
And when I am finally heard,
show compassion.
Show compassion.
Show compassion.
Remember, it's in you.
African Americans here and across the country are contracting coronavirus at higher rates than others. People of color and those with underlying health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and asthma are being hit hard. Please protect yourself and your family. Wash your hands often. Clean and disinfect frequently touched items. Wear a cloth face covering in public places like the grocery store where it's hard to social distance. More importantly, stay at home as much as possible. Your safety and the safety of our community depends on it.
Woo! Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. This is our final segment of 2020. I'm gonna finish all this wine.
Oh, there you go. Why you didn't send your cousin Paula a bottle of some of the Aldi wine?
Aldi.
You got a wine from Aldi. Excuse me, about the wine from Aldi, cuz they have a great brand of Aldi. You get some great wine
from Aldi's, man.
I'm telling you, Aldi has a good wine selection. I'm telling you, okay.
I'm not going to Aldi's, but
listen to your cousin.
So for this last segment, we just gonna chop up some topics that took place here in 2020, and we'll talk a little bit about some expectations for 2021. So 2020 has been a year. It's been hell. It's been hell for a lot of people. We got 10 more days left in this year. People. We can't even celebrate the new year coming in. My wife and I think we're going to just sit here and burn sage and do an exorcism for 2020 so we can get the hell up out of here so we can get to 2021. But let's just go over, some of the stuff that happened, Lance. Obviously COVID completely flipped the world upside down. That included our sports world. But just for me, the big sports story in Chicago was that both of our baseball teams ended up making the playoffs. And I thought that was really big for the city to have both teams qualify, because it's very rare that does happen. As we look back at the 2020 White Sox and Cubs, just what were your general thoughts on those seasons for both teams?
Jose Abreu, that was my general thought. That was my thought. He stepped up and performed like a big-time player does. And I was kind of like, the one thing about the Cubs, well, with the Cubs and Sox, I was kind of disappointed in our pitching a little bit. I'm happy we made it to the playoffs, but I wish our pitching, could have been a little bit stronger. And I think we could have met in the crosstown rivalry playing for a World Series. But with that being said, I thought the Sox I think nobody really expect them to do what they did, other than you and I, that's really big Sox fans. But with that being said, and I also think Northwestern winning this year is a good story also, Jay. I mean, they did win a division in the Big Ten, so I thought they had a good year also.
Without a doubt. And, they're going forward to playing a bowl game. I think they're playing Auburn, if I'm not mistaken, in the Sugar Bowl. But, yeah, that's definitely a feel-good story. I think, for the White Sox, it was good to finally see that potential finally turn into performance on the field and see them take that step. And, the Cubs, we got to see them make the playoffs. But again, it seems like the two teams are now going in opposite directions. And I'd like to see them both, for the love of God, be going up. And so we can get that Chicago World Series. But, looks like the Cubs are dismantling their core and the White Sox are getting ready to start thriving. So that's kind of unfortunate. Also in 2020, the Lakers won the championship. Your thoughts on the Lakers winning the 2020 title as we start the 2021 season tonight?
I thought the Lakers showed why you need a couple of bona fide superstars. And those two superstars, like LeBron James and AD, they stepped up. But also they had guys around them that kind of filled in the pieces where they needed to be filled in. I was happy for the Lakers. I thought LeBron brought out the best in AD. So I thought AD had a great year. And I think, Jay, they have another opportunity to win it again this year. Because what they brought in, now, even though the season is turning around quick, but they have an opportunity to win it again next year.
Yeah, it looked like they just, they restacking. They looking like the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL, where they said, we're going to try to win this thing back to back. Lakers got a hell of a team. You know, it's good to see 2 Chicago natives on that team, and Anthony Davis and Taylor Horton. Wait, let me get the name right, man.
THT.
Taylor
Horton Tucker.
Taylor Horton Tucker is also on that team. THT. So it's good to see 2 Chicago guys getting that championship. Let's move on to hockey. The Blackhawks made the playoffs, and we were stunned.
Hey, you know what? You the one really caused me to watch hockey more and more and more. Like I used to look at you like, hockey? What the hell is he talking about? I'll tell you what, Corey Crawford, great year. Like you turned me on to what he was doing, and like now I'm big into hockey. Like I almost came out here putting on my hockey shirt. Like I can't wait for the hockey season to start and seeing how the Blackhawks is gonna do. But I'm gonna give you a shout out for really turning me on to hockey. Excuse me.
Yeah, so you know they made the playoffs because you know the rules changed and they qualified. We were like, okay, we'll go. We had Jamal Mayers. He came onto the show.
Oh, he was great.
He was great, wasn't he? And then the Blackhawks actually defeated Edmonton in one round of playoffs. Nobody was expecting that. So you know that was good. You know the Blackhawks have had their challenges. They've had some changes. They just made some big announcements last week. They moved General Manager Stan Bowman. He's going to keep that title, and he got an additional title. And then yesterday, the NHL announced the season, and Maya has a graphic in the folder here. She's going to put it up for us. Hockey is going to start on January the 13th, and they've realigned the divisions this year to try to cut down on the travel for a lot of the teams. And there are new divisions. So they've kind of done away with the Eastern and Western Conference. So it's just going to be 4 divisions, and the top 16 teams are going to make the playoffs. You can see our Blackhawks are in the Central Division. This side, they're in there with Carolina, Columbus, Dallas, Detroit, our old rivals. Florida, I don't know how the hell Florida is Central, seeing that they're in Miami, but okay. Nashville and Tampa Bay, who's also not nowhere in the Central United States. So Canada has its own division. As you can see, all the Canadian teams are north. And the reason why they had to do this, because people forget, the Canadian and U.S. border is still closed due to COVID. So none of the teams can travel. So all the Canadian teams are going to be playing each other, much like our friend who's going to be playing all his teams 6 times. So the hockey divisions this year are going to be just absolutely crazy. Minnesota and St. Louis in the Western Conference or Western Division. So hockey is coming back pretty soon here in about 3 weeks. We got some more guests lined up in 2021. And, you know, I think the Blackhawks are going to be interesting because they got an offense, but they already didn't have no defense, and now we don't even know who the damn goaltender is because Crawford is gone.
I was going to ask you, Jay, because you're the big hockey guy. Talk about your Blackhawks, what you made to my Blackhawks. Come on, talk to me. What can I expect?
We're going to score a lot of goals, and we're going to give up a lot of goals. That's when we get into back in 2021. So
Subban is there.
Yeah, Subban is there. So we may have a brother in goal for the first time. That'll be interesting. So our next topic, you know, so much stuff going on here as we look back at 2020. Obviously, the NFL is still playing. We're still getting ready to ramp up the college football kind of playoffs. Not having a Final Four in 2020. Not having the NCAA championship crown in women or men's basketball. Talk a little bit about that and just what it did for the college basketball community.
I mean, I think we all were basically in shock because we thought we were going to have it. Then when once COVID came in place, you know, after they canceled it at the end of the year, we thought, well, maybe they just canceling our conference tournament and be back. But then with that being said, it's like, no, we canceling everything. So that was a shock. Now they come back and, you know, the season is shortened. We're not playing as many games or we're not playing as many guaranteed games like some schools, like the low resource schools have to play. So that money has been shrunk. So now it's really basically like the haves and the have-nots, right? So, and I think that affected the NBA draft because I don't think people were really excited about the NBA draft or the WNBA draft because you didn't get an opportunity to see some of the players that normally put on the show in the NCAA tournament. So the average fan didn't get an opportunity to see some of the players play, which maybe I think, like I said, made the draft suffer a little bit and then from an excitement standpoint.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, not having that Final Four, and not even getting through the conference tournaments. A lot of the conference tournaments, some had just started, some, they never even got to the conclusion. So, there was no Final Four. It was just like, what is going on here? The whole world just turned upside down. And, college basketball is back. I've stated on the record, I'm not going to change my position. I still don't think they need to be playing college football or college basketball. I know that ship has sailed, but I'm not going to change that based off of this virus, but it has started up again. They've made a decision they're just going to plow their way through this thing. But we do have a vaccine on the horizon here. The FDA just approved the second company's FDA vaccine, I believe, earlier today. Some people have already started taking their shots. I'm not going to get into whether you should take it or shouldn't take it with the vaccine. I know there's a lot of unknown factors here on that, and I don't even know what I'm going to do, if it becomes available for me. But NBA Commissioner Adam Silver made a statement earlier today, so I want to kind of bring that up with you, and maybe even Maya can jump in on this a little bit. He said that the NBA players and coaches will not jump the line to get this vaccine. I know they're trying to get it to a lot of the essential workers, a lot of people working in the hospitals, a lot of our first responders, and people working with the elderly and the nursing homes and stuff like that. And, Adam Silver is a very smart guy. He keeps his ear to the street. He has a good sense of what the social and political climate is. And, I think he said, hey, I'm not going to put up this league in a position where people are asking us, well, how are these guys getting to jump the line? He basically came out and said, we're not going to jump the line. And I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that comment from you and Maya on, what the commissioner said today.
You know what? Because it kind of seemed like when COVID first started and the test was coming out, it kind of seemed like they jumped the line to get the test. Because I know people were wondering, hey, how's the NBA getting all these tests? How they tested like every day, and the average person couldn't get a test. So, like you said, I think it would have been a bad look if they did jump the line. But I like Maya jumped on doing like this, so I'm gonna let my sister expound. Go ahead, Maya.
I mean, we know it's not just the NBA. Look at it even from the college situation. If you had it financially within your budget, you were doing additional things to accommodate your program. Whereas we've had guests on our show who talked about they don't have those resources to be able to do that. So that's just a reflection of, what you see really happening, obviously, in pro sports. They can afford, but it's also part of their business, the safety piece. So we can look at this two ways. We could say, of course, they have the ability because of money, but also in order for them to be able to do their business effectively, they needed to spend that kind of money where maybe they were testing people daily. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's kind of it's an up and a down. I agree with the commissioner. No one should jump the line. But I'm also going to say this on the back end of that, but you can go free to go get it on your own because you are a U.S. citizen. So we're not going to facilitate you getting it. We're not going to bring people in to do it for you. But if you choose to do it, you can go do that on your own.
Without a doubt.
Optics.
Well, and I mean, Maya, a lot of people, some people know, some people don't know, your work in the mental health community and, you work in a hospital setting, so you see COVID firsthand.
I see COVID every day, every single day, every day.
You see COVID every day. You and I have had a lot of personal conversations, just offline. I've expressed my concern with you, working in that environment. All my friends who are nurses and doctors, I'm just scared to death of y'all.
It's, here's the thing. And despite how much we try to be safe in PPE, it's still a very complicated disease because here's the thing that people don't probably realize is that just about every surface you touch gets contaminated. It doesn't matter how many times you gown up, change your gloves, wear your mask. That one time you touch the wrong surface that somebody touched, and this could just be you going out of a door. This could be you pumping gas at the gas station. So it's a really complicated, unfortunate virus because the fact of, unlike any other virus that exists, and this is the part, I got real nerdy and read all these reports and studies about it. Okay. It's one of the few that actually have what's called a proofreading protein, which is when it hijacks your RNA, it literally makes every copy that your body produces is perfect. There's no defunct copies. That's why it's so contagious. So it's just unique in the sense of what it does. So, the vaccine is, I always tell people there's good and bad to everything. I'm like you, Jason. I tell people, make your own informed decision on it. I encourage people, if you have questions, opposed to relying heavily on media or social media, because I think a lot of that coverage is very biased and not informative enough. I would tell you, especially if you are a high risk person, potentially, you need to sit down with your healthcare provider and have that conversation, because understand this was a vaccine that was created really quickly when we're still in the midst of the actual pandemic itself. There were only 4,300 people in the sample group, and clearly certain people were eliminated as part of the study because of risk. So what you now need to know is, and notice no one talked about that, go to your healthcare provider and say, am I a high risk individual because of this, this, and this? And then let them help you to make an informed decision about what's best for you. Don't make people make you feel guilty like you have to go do something. You need to make sure you're making the right decision for your health. As well as everybody else. So I'm telling everybody, go talk to your healthcare provider, even if you don't have any outstanding issues, but you're concerned and you kind of want to just be maybe consoled that it's really okay. You don't have to just believe in the science because someone told you to, because the science is not perfect.
I agree. So as we look forward to 2021, Maya and Lance, what are you looking most forward to in terms of on the sports landscape? We'll start with you, Lance.
Oh, Jay, that's a great question. You know what? I'm looking maybe forward to the college student athletes. I hope they get a chance to get back to some sort of normalcy. Because, my daughter, Brooklyn, she missed her volleyball season. And so many other student athletes, they missed their season. So I hope that they at least have the opportunity to at least go back when schools start, because she'll be a senior next year in some of the other places. So at least let the student athletes have an opportunity to compete. I know the high school students, they don't have an opportunity to play this year either. So hopefully the kids will have an opportunity to play and do something that they love.
Maya, what about you? What are you looking forward to most on the sports landscape in 2021?
Well, since I don't have any kids, I can care less about any of that. So I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care nothing about that. I can't wait for Team Cuba to get back out there, aka the White Sox. My Cubans. I am just super. I am so excited about baseball. I can't wait. You have no idea. I'm just excited. I want to see how this whole La Russa thing is going to pan out. That's probably the one piece of this that I'm like, either this is going to be really good
or really bad.
It's going to be really bad. I don't feel like with La Russa, there is no middle. There's no gray area. Either this is going to work or it's not going to work. But if it doesn't work, it's going to be an issue. So I'm actually really looking forward to baseball, because I will flat out say this is the year I expect for the White Sox to make the playoffs. I'm not saying anything about World Series, but I expect for them to make the playoffs and to make it past the first round, legitimately.
Good. I think, for me, I'm more so on the train with you, Maya, as a fan. As a fan, I'm looking most forward to the White Sox. I think this is their year. I am kind of with the organization and White Sox in saying World Series a bust. That's kind of where I am with it. I think they have that talent. I think, if they sign Trevor Bauer, it's definitely World Series a bust for me. As a fan, I'm looking most forward to the White Sox.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, though, there's probably going to be no spring training, because I was there if it was.
Yes, I agree. And Tony La Russa, by the way, did plead guilty today to a lesser charge of reckless driving.
Did you put that up? Did you post that?
I did. I posted on my. There it is. There's a statement from the White Sox. Chicago White Sox today issued the following statement. With today's announcement, Tony La Russa accepted responsibility and has been held legally accountable for his poor behavior and the questionable choices he made last February. The White Sox understand the anger and concern expressed by some about hiring Tony under these circumstances. That would be me and Maya. Tony has expressed to us his remorse, and he understands he brought this on himself. I'm not going to read the rest of the statement. I'll just summarize it. Basically, they said, look, dude, don't screw up no more, because you don't have no safety net. So, for me as a fan, I'm looking forward to White Sox. Me as a professional, I just want to be able to referee again, because I need some money.
Look, I'm on. That's the case. We're talking about personally. I just can't wait to get to a warm destination. Like, I need a beach in my life.
Yeah.
I need that seriously. So beyond that, but I'm actually right now okay with the Bulls. I'm curious to watch this unfold because Jason, like you probably won't agree with this, but I was thinking about this when you were saying it. We always felt like the Bulls had talent, and we started questioning the talent because of how poorly they were coached.
Right.
And now we have better coaches, and we're already seeing a shift with the talent. That's why you got to give Mitch a little bit of leeway, because it could be that one change. Don't get me wrong. I'm not Team Mitch. I questioned his ability all along. Yeah. But I also realized that the cards weren't stacked for him to be successful. So whether he stays here or goes someplace else, at least he's getting something that he deserved, which is really to be coached, developed at the NFL level.
I agree. I agree.
And if you don't have the necessary tools that you need, man, it's hard.
Yeah, without doubt. Lance, anything you want to say as we close out the show here on 2021? Go for 2021.
You know what? It was great working with my cousin for these months. I mean, it was great working with my sister Maya some of the time. I mean, but you know I love you, Maya. You know I love you.
I didn't come home for Tavares. I'm like, and he went to Providence. Anyways,
Maya, I'm glad you talked to me into doing this, so I appreciate you.
There you go.
I appreciate it. And that's my final thoughts as well. I just appreciate the What's Up Cuz show, everyone in SportsZone Chicago, Maya, Sean, Ivan, everybody who works behind the scenes, all the other shows who had us on as guests, and we've had them on, and we're going to bring you more content in 2021. Everyone, please enjoy the holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and look forward to Happy New Year. And I'm about to go drink some more wine and party with my wife.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone.
Let's go Buckeyes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.